Hey, I'm Kai. This is going to be my first impressions video of the E Chiou by GUP. There are two sides to this pedal. On the left is their E Le Chiou boost, and on the right is the GrindR boost. For the rig in this video, I'm running through the orange Rockerverb 100 Mark II, into the Notes Captor 8, and then into my DAW we've got the MIKKO2 plugin with the Mars Mofo cabinet. I'll start this video out with my PRS S2 Evertune, but I will switch out to something a little lower tuned later on. So that's my dry tone. As you can hear, it's very Rockerverby. It's not super tight, it's pretty sludgy, almost fuzzy sounding, but it is a great sounding high gain tone. So I'm going to start with the boost side of this pedal with the EQ switch in the up position, which means the EQ is bypassed. All we've got here is the boost control and a low cut. So that was just the boost side of the circuit, but the tight knob controls the low cut. As you turn the tight knob up, you do need to compensate with the boost, as, you know, it's going to be cutting out some of your signal. I'm going to switch the EQ into the down position, which means the EQ is now engaged. One interesting thing to note about this EQ is that rather than going bass, middle, treble, we've got mids, bass, treble. It's just something that you need to learn when you're using this pedal. I'll quickly switch the EQ on and off so that you can hear what that's doing. Now I'm just going to dial in that side to the best of my ability with this Rockerverb. Okay, so we'll hear a before and after of the dry tone versus the now boosted tone. Definitely making a huge improvement, and it works really nicely with the Rockerverb, which is something that I haven't really found with any of my other overdrive pedals so far. It doesn't take too well to a tube screamer or anything that adds too much gain to the signal. However, with a pretty basic EQ and boost, it's a lot closer to the sound that I'd like to get. That's going to be it for the Le Chiou side so far, so we'll switch over to the GrindR side and see what this is doing. This is based on the TC Electronic integrated preamp. With the PB switch in the B position, this is going to be bypassing the two EQ knobs at the top of the unit. This means that you've only got access to the level and the 33 and grind controls. Both the 14 33 and the 14 grind are represented here, and these are going to be fixed EQ versions of the TC Electronic integrated preamp. I'm going to start with it in the grind position because this is a lot more smoother and a lot easier to dial in drop C. Now that I've got it dialed in where I like it, I'm going to switch between the 33 and the grind so you can hear the difference between the two modes. So flipping the switch from B to P on the GrindR side of this pedal disables the 33 and grind and instead uses the bass and treble knobs. One cool thing you can do with this pedal, of course, is run them both simultaneously. Now this isn't going to be something you do an awful lot because they're both boost pedals. However, you can use the boost side to bring up a crunchy amp a little bit more, and then use the GrindR side to just tighten it up a little bit. So since the 33 and the grind have become so synonymous with low tunings at this point, thanks to bands like Meshuggah, I figured I need to switch out this PRS S2 for something a little lower. So as I mentioned previously, the Rockerverb is a very thick, loose, fuzzy sounding amp, which does sound great in drop C. However, when you start to get down to drop E, like I've got this Balaguer Growler in, that's when it really starts to fall apart and you really need a boost in front of it. Without a boost, it's really hard to use in anything other than super sludgy metal. Let's hear that first. Let's see if I can dial in the boost side of this pedal to cut some of those lows and get this sounding quite a bit tighter. So that's working quite nicely, but I think the 33 side of the GrindR pedal will be far more aggressive for this. So you can hear that almost pokey EQ frequency slipping out. That works so good for low tunings. So that is absolutely cutting and working so good. I can't wait to use this in my regular setup and just see how it fares. Now onto the conclusion / review section, I suppose. The first thing I want to mention is the graphics. These are definitely going to be polarizing. A lot of people aren't going to be a fan of these. I'm going to put that out there. I have to say I'm finding it quite charming, really. It does look very DIY, but I would take that over AI generated slop any day of the week. I bought this pedal to be sort of an all-in-one boost station. It was £114 at the time of purchase, which puts it significantly cheaper than any of the alternatives available. I'm not someone who really uses clean boosts in the traditional sense, you know, taking an edge of breakup amp into distortion territory, but I don't think that's really what this pedal was geared towards. I think this is really towards boosting high gain. I am finding this one to be very versatile. At first I was worried that it might be too similar and that you wouldn't really be able to tell the two boosts apart. However, the left side is super smooth and the right side is incredibly aggressive. I do wish the switches were labelled a little bit better. I thought the EQ up was on because, you know, the switch pointing the EQ controls, it made sense to me. But no, that's not the case. I I did get confused as well by the P and B switch, since this is preamp and bypass. I think they could have just written EQ on, EQ off for both sides of the pedal, and that would have cleared up most of the confusion. I definitely don't hate the looks of this pedal, but I think it could have done with a little bit more polish on the graphic design front. Though, that said, who cares what a pedal looks like when it sounds good? I'm pretty certain this pedal is going to become a mainstay on my board. It's like nothing else I own, and it really fits in nicely with my Rockerverb especially and the guitars that I've been using, so I can't see myself giving this one up anytime soon. Hopefully, in the near future, I'll be able to put it through its paces a little bit more, running through my 5150, maybe the Joyo Jackman, and putting it through the FM3 as well to get some digital amps going on. That's going to be everything for my first look at the GupTech Mad Chiou pedal. If you'd like to check out another one of my videos, there's going to be a link on screen for you to do so. Thank you so much for sticking around to the end of the video, I appreciate it. If you enjoy what I do, please drop me a subscribe, a like, a comment, all that good stuff goes a long way towards helping me out.